This is a video about, we're going to talk about space here, and we're going to talk about dark matter, and we're going to talk about fundamental levels of space and the dimensions. So first of all, one of the most important concepts that a lot of people don't really understand, and I want to start off with this so you can understand fundamentally. So let's start off at zero dimensional, spatially dimensional. Let's start off with 0D. It's nothing. It's absolute nothing. This is what so-called the singularity is expanding into absolute zero. Yeah, this is nothingness. So this is true nothing, zero dimensional. And one dimensional is just length, right? Just one direction, length or width or whichever depth, whichever one you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. But technically length is the first one in the chain, but you know, who really gets to decide which one gets to go first? So anyways, but that's just the spatial order. But that's just length. So infinite amounts of zero-dimensional existence, right? Because there's nothing there. Infinite planes of that could stack inside of any size one-dimensional existence. So infinite amounts of it can go in there, right? So that's the first step, okay? That's the first leap. That's your first progressional pattern chain. The next one is from the first dimension, which is length. Now you add in width. Now that you've added in width, you made a plane field like this. Now you have a plane. Now, infinite one-dimensional sections of length, because they have no width at all, they can stack inside this new space. No matter what size this space is, infinite amounts of it can fit in there, because now you have two directions of movement. Okay? Now, that's next logical progression of pattern. Now we've established a pattern there. Now we have the same thing happening 2 times in a row. Now, for the third time, for the next one, we can say that when we go to the third dimension, we add in depth. Now we have another way of movement, which is out this way. It's moving out this way, or whatever you want to make it go. And so because it's doing that, now you have infinite ability to stack 2-dimensional planes inside. You could stack them infinitely inside any size 3-dimensional existence. So if you have anything that's 3-dimensional, then you could stack it infinitely inside of there. So it has infinite stackability built into the principle of it. With each logical progression of the spatial dimensions, the previous amount of dimension can stack infinitely inside any size version of that existence. So with that in mind, what would we be looking for if we were to say that if we want to figure out if we're not the fundamental dimension. Okay, so 3 plus 1, 3 spatial dimensions plus 1 of time is not the fundamental dimension. It's not the fundamental spatial dimension, because that's the equation. That's the problem with the equation, is that we're not in the fundamental dimension, because when you think about the logical progression of the spatial dimensions, what we would observe if we were not the fundamental dimension, okay, is we would observe that, we live on around Earth, right? Round, we know it's round, but well, we thought for a long time it was flat. And why would we think it's flat? If it's flat, then that's a simulation, right? Like, just imagine if Earth was flat, just a flat sheet. It's like, this is a simulated world, right? Well, if that's the case with that and that type of thinking, why is it not the same of thinking the universe is flat too? And our observations show that it is flat. So if we're not the fundamental dimension, then we would expect our observation to show us that our universe is flat, a flat sheet, just like we observe, because we're not in the fundamental dimension here. But in all actuality, the universe is a toroid. and we just can't. We just don't observe it really in our three-dimensional form, and so we see it as a flat sheet because we could stack infinite amounts of this three-dimensional existence inside the four-dimensional toroid. Okay, and that's our universe. And so because of that, and on the other, there's basically a singularity point on in the toroid, and time flows one way on when you're regular, it goes this way on one side. On the other side of the singularity, when it goes through and comes out the other side, it goes in the other direction. You have opposite spinning time, and it all connects back through a big toroidal shape, like a big donut. And that's the real shape of the universe. But that's not the three-dimensional observation of what we see of the universe. We see our little slice, our three-dimensional slice is the best interpretation you can get, because each one is a slicing. Just think about it. That's the best way we can logically picture it, is that infinite amounts of the previous version can fit in there. You could say bubbles, you could say whatever you want, but I prefer slicing because that's a slice is a two-dimensional slice. Now you just take the dimensions and picture the third dimension being in slices, and the fourth dimension being round like us, and so infinite amounts of 3D slices can fit inside there. So these slices are what we see in our universe, because we're not the fundamental dimension. And I propose that we can think of dimensions on a rotating disc. Like, imagine a record player, and at the center of the record player is the hole where it goes down on there. Well, the center is not reachable. You can't get to that hole. Okay, that's the singularity point. And ultimately, at least you can't get to it, and never come back or whatever. But you got to go through it to get all the way through. But then no one's gonna know what happened, and tree falls in the woods. No one's around to hear it. It doesn't make a sound. It doesn't matter. But you could think of the spinning disc, and towards the closer center of the record player, the disc. You have these zones this is zero dimensional in the very center, and as you go out from the center is where you start to get the dimensions, and because it's spinning around, and because the further you get out on the disc, the more it's spinning, and the bigger of the area it is. It's increasing in its total capacity, with each progression out from the spinning center, and that each one has control over the we are controlled by the higher dimensions spinning out as well. And to think that, with Einstein had a problem with understanding what Newton thought. Okay, because Newton actually thought Newton had a problem with two objects in a true vacuum. And we picture a vacuum. He thought these two objects, and there's nothing inside the space here. This is truly empty space. Well, there's no such thing as truly empty space, and unless you pass where the horizon of the expansion of the universe, and you can get in front of the expansion of the universe and go past the speed of light and beat the expansion of the universe and its total speed eventually and outrun it, then you can never get to that zone. So ultimately, because of this, Einstein had an issue with this, because he thought that he was saying that two objects in space, whatever, in a true vacuum of space, if the vacuum was a vacuum, it was completely empty. It was zero-dimensional space, and these were the only two objects there. How would they interfere with each other? Well, Einstein proposed the fabric of space-time, which is a space-time fabric, okay? Well, the problem with the space-time fabric is quite simple. When you think of a fabric, zero dimensional would have no fabric. It would have no fabric like uh, ability. So this fabric that he proposes is what dark matter is basically made of and holding the whole universe together. Okay, and we know that dark matter is emitted from black holes. Is a recent paper that was published, and basically dark matter is emitted from black holes, and it's non-baryonic matter, which is dark matter, and because of that, it creates, and we have a black hole at the center of our galaxy, and because of that, it creates a local area bubble of dark matter, and this dark matter can increase in density, and as this increases in density over time, it can create an illusion of expansion past the speed of light, and it's fooled a lot of physicists out there, and there's a lot of people thinking that the expansion of this, past the speed of light, AE past the speed of light, is possible. But when you think about at any single point, if the speed of light is broken at any single point in the chain, then the whole thing falls apart. And you can't say that, well, you can, if it gets to a point where it's going faster than the speed of light, no matter what, then that is an illusion of accelerating expansion being caused by local area dark matter, and it's increasing in density field by being emitted from black holes, which is something that I was trying to find the source of this emission and this increase, creating this illusion of accelerating expansion past the speed of light, and that was the piece that I was looking for, and no one's really tying this together, but it really makes logical sense when you think about it now. And now they're going to be doing a tetrahedron type of observation platform to try to monitor fluctuations in dark matter and dark energy, and to be able to see that and measure that effect, so we can figure that out more effectively. But ultimately, there's going to be some important things happening. But I just wanted to address how in the third dimension we observe some things, and ultimately things are quite different. And there's some important videos you can look up on YouTube. Theoria apophasis. I can leave a link to his channel, but he has a demonstrable proof of a Mercury toroid. I mean, that's my invention. What am I saying? he has a demonstrable thing to show that magnetism is a vortex. So he can prove that it is literally a toroid, and on one side that it spins one way, and on the other side, on the other pole, and one pole, it spins the other way. And at the center is a singularity point where it goes through and everything gets closed down. So we have proofs of singularities in two places. We have proofs of singularities in magnetism, and we have proofs of singularities inside convex and concave mirrors. And so there's evidence for all sorts of important things out there. And I could literally spend hours just talking here about all the different proofs of everything, but I try not to make too long of videos, and actually I only have 19 minutes to make this video, otherwise it's gonna turn off on its own. So anyways, I do all my videos in one shoot, so I hope you all enjoy my videos and the information I'm giving here. It's very valuable information, but you could look up his video. It's proof of a magnetic vortex, and basically it he shows exactly how it's done, and it's pretty irrefutable. It's pretty irrefutable evidence of the baseline facts, which shows there's two different things, as basically toroids and their counterparts, which are like diamond shapes. And it's just, there's diamond shapes in toroids, and they that's pretty much it. And we have proof of other things. Well, I'm going to give you one more piece here. You can go look up in these other videos too, but there was some in crop circles. They actually have video footage of crop circles forming in real time, and then afterwards the person who filmed it in real time went over to there and showed the crop circles where they're laid down at. You actually went to the stem of the plant, and you could see there's a genetic manipulation done to it to make it bend it to a 45-degree angle without breaking the stems. So it's letting us know that it's doing genetic manipulation on the actual crops to make them lay over without breaking them. So that's not people doing that. That's not people doing that. And it's on video. It's orbs coming in, and all of a sudden the grass just lays down. Poof, all of it's done, and they're communicating in spirals. They're communicating with geometric patterns, and this is a kaleidoscope reality where the singularity goes to forget the fact that it's all encompassing and completely alone. So everything here is all one. Everything is one, truly, in the universe, and that's ultimately the key. And the universe is a toroid shape. We just view it as flat here in our limited dimensional spatial existence. So, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all should hit subscribe, because it's a miracle that you even found this channel, and it's a miracle if you made it this point. You should just subscribe to this channel, because this is the best channel you're ever going to find on the entire internet. So anyways, if you don't subscribe and hit all notifications button, you'll never see me again, because otherwise YouTube will make sure that you never see me, because I'm super critically important, and that's what they want to do. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I love you all, and I'll see you all around in the next one. So till next time, love you all. I hope you all have a glorious, magnificent, wonderful, beautiful, awesome, amazing, incredible existence and time on this planet, and talk to you later. Bye.